Hey guys, Stephanie with AmericanMuscle.com here with a review and install of the BMR Upper Control Arm mount that's available for all 2011 to 2014 Mustangs. In this video, we're going to cover a few topics when it comes to this Upper Control Arm mount. We're going to look at the benefits that this offers, the materials and construction of the mount, and the install as well. I can tell you right now that the install for this mount is easy, and I'm going to call it a 1 out of 3 wrenches in the difficulty meter, but we'll cover the install in more detail shortly. The BMR Upper Control Arm mount is going to be something that you're going to want to check out if you purchase a BMR rear upper control arm, or you're looking into buying one and you want to make sure that the upper control arm can do its job to the best of its ability. It's always recommended to upgrade your upper control arm mount when you upgrade the arm itself, and this mount will make sure that the upper control arm that you spent your money on will be able to give you the most benefits possible. If we talk about the purpose of this upper control arm mount, we also have to talk about the purpose of the upper control arm to begin with. Keeping things general, the purpose of any control arm is to help with traction and to stabilize the rear by planing the axle and improving grip. This includes helping with pinion angle on lowered cars or drag race applications. So you upgrade the upper control arm, but then you have your strong aftermarket arm that connects to the chassis in the stock mount, which has the same weaknesses as the stock arm does. So if you're already upgrading your upper control arm, you really want to look into upgrading your upper control arm mount to eliminate all of the weaknesses in the stock setup that surround this area. Now, if you're on the site, you'll notice that there are a few upper control arm mount options, and they're all pretty much the same. They do the same thing at the end of the day, and they have a lot of the same features, and they're close in price. What I recommend here is keeping brands the same across your setup. So if you've got the BMR upper control arm, I'd personally stick with the BMR upper control arm mount, so you know the items will work well together. This upper control arm mount has dual mounting points, which is a nice feature, especially when it comes to those of you out there that are looking for improved traction during harder launches. The two different mounting positions will allow for instant center adjustment, which will help the upper control arm provide better traction during hard launches. This mount is beefier than your stock mount is. It's made from a 1/4 inch thick CNC laser cut steel plate for strength, and it looks just as hardy as all of BMR suspension products do. Of course, it's finished with powder coating to provide some corrosion resistance and give the product an even longer life. When it comes to price, you can expect to pay just over the $150 mark for this mount. Now, there are some other mount options on the website that are a little bit less expensive, but I'll say it again that I recommend keeping the brands the same across your setup, so if you already have a BMR arm, I'd say go with the BMR mount. So the install here is really pretty easy. I'm going to call it a 1 out of 3 wrenches in the difficulty meter, and you can plan on spending about 2 hours on the install. You're looking at pulling the upper control arm for the install since it goes in the mount anyway. You're going to need to get the rear of the car in the air, but also remove the rear lower seat cushion so that you can get to the upper control arm mounting bolt. Once that's done, you can start working under the car. There are 3 bolts for the upper control arm, and you can pull the mount down with the arm itself. You're going to want to grease the new or maybe even the old control arm bushing, depending on your setup, really well before installing. Once you grease the bushing, this is ready to install. You're just looking at reinstalling the assembly the same way the factory one came out, torquing the bolts down and putting your seat cushion back in. Lastly, you'll need to adjust your pinion angle if you have an adjustable upper control arm, and BMR does give you step-by-step instructions on how to do that. Wrapping things up here with the BMR upper control arm mount, this mounting bracket has dual mounting points for changing instant center. It's made from 1/4 inch steel plates, and it has a simple bolt-on design, and it pairs perfectly with the BMR upper control arm to give you the best performance possible from the upper control arm. You can check it out more online for yourself, and for all things Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.